Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Andrew, and we are the IB English Guys. Folks, before we start today, just a quick reminder that we have a website, ibenglishguys.com. There you can find lots of resources for teachers, complete units, other things for assessment students. We have exam review as well, so check that out. Mr. Giles, we're revisiting the individual oral today. What's the topic and why do you want to visit this?
We're going to talk about choosing an extract. We're going to talk about annotating that extract and analyzing it. And we just think that's so important. Coming off the IOs, just having done 50 of them, we feel like it's so important to pick the right extract. So we want to just model that. We're going to use a novel that we really love to teach. We're currently teaching it now. It's The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. I'm wearing my Indian shirt right now. I think it's a really rich novel with a lot of interesting global issues.
Yeah, we just want to remind you that not all extracts are equal. While we've had some great choices that our students selected for their extracts, we saw a couple that were questionable, and we just want to review this. Okay, Giles. One of the things in God of Small Things I know that we talk about a lot is kind of the divorced woman and the stigma around the divorced woman. How could you kind of work this into a global issue and help our viewers get to that idea of choosing an extract?
Yeah, so we're thinking about, again, that field of inquiry of culture, family, identity, and we're thinking about gender roles more specifically. And when I think about that particular topic, I'm thinking about the negative stigma of the divorced woman and the damage it inflicts on female identity and mental health, frankly, in that novel. So we think that's an important global issue, and we think that transcends many cultures. So that's the global issue I narrowed down to.
Super important for this novel. We see multiple female characters experiencing all kinds of problems due to their gender identity. Okay, now we have to get to choosing an extract. There's so many options. What are things that you're thinking about as you look for the right extract?
Yeah, I'm thinking about which extract is going to clearly show that rich idea of stigma most clearly. So I'm thinking about the rich idea and the moment in the text where the global issue is present.
But you need to think about something else, because that extract also has to have lots of rich authorial choices. So are we looking for repetition in there?
No, probably not. We're going to look for something that does have nuance, has rich literary elements that we can unpack and explore. And so that's a balance between the content, the idea, the plot, what's going on, and the form in terms of the rich ideas. And I think that came up a lot when I was talking to kids about their extracts.
Okay, now you've taken that extract, you've ripped it out of the book, per se, and then you have to be able to sort of give the context and summarize that extract. We tell our students you get 1 or 2 sentences. So talk about that and what you've chosen here and how you're going to deliver that.
Yeah, it's so important. It's a 300-page novel, so we've got to, again, even if like the teachers read the novel, the examiner might not have. So we need to make sure we're explaining what's going on in that particular moment.
So give me the context for the passage that you selected.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the character of Amu, and she's a divorced woman, and in Chapter 2, the family is traveling to Cochin in Kerala by car, and we learn a great deal of the backstory of many of these characters, including Amu, who divorced her abusive and alcoholic husband.
Stop. There it is. That's the context. That's what's happening in the novel when we rip that page out. Now, before you can talk about that extract, you better summarize it, because the examiner might not have seen this before. Now you've got your extract, you gave us the context, summarize this extract.
Okay, in this passage, Amu's judgmental and very bitter aunt, Baby Kochama, scornfully considers that stigma that's attached to Amu, and she judges her for being a divorced woman and condemns her to a lonely fate.
Mr. Giles, it sounds like you've got the context, you're able to summarize it. Now we have to make sure that our extract is rich in those textual references and literary features.
I just want to stop really quickly.
Sure.
If we're able to give context and summarize that extract, that's not wasted time, because that shows understanding. You've taken that passage and you've summarized it very concisely, and you show a command of what's happening in that, and notice that my summary linked to my global issue.
Yeah, but be
so
brief.
It's not
be
wasted
brief.
time.
Not
yeah,
wasted time, but
brief.
be brief. Okay, now we talk about hot spots in the extract. Talk about what are hot spots and what are we doing with these?
Yeah, okay. So we've got about a 20-line to 40-line extract, depending on what we've chosen. We cannot talk about every single line. We have to select key moments, key phrases, what we call hotspots in that particular extract that we see the global issue. Again, it goes back to those rich literary elements.
Once you've sort of isolated those 6 or 8 hotspots, those textual references, those words and phrases that really pop, you want to see if you can pin those to authorial choices. And you can see that we've displayed that for you in the table here. The idea is that if you don't have a phrase that's pinned to a feature, you're kind of wasting your time. Remember, you want to talk about A and criterion B together. You're building these simultaneously.
So I'll give you an example. So one of the hotspots is where baby Kochama is looking at Amu. Again, this is this bitter old woman looking at the divorced woman and passing judgment on her. And the narrator says it's the unfortunate sometimes dislike the co-unfortunate. And this, I think, is deeply, this is a use of irony where we see how baby Kochama, as a single woman herself, is unfortunate, and she hates her niece, who's also divorced. It's
All right,
like
Giles.
one single woman hating another.
But we're not done, because we have to discuss how this authorial choice shapes meaning with respect to the global issue. So we add a third column to the table now about how that choice shapes meaning. Can you finish that thought, Mr. Giles?
Yeah, so again, this shows that baby Kochama is resentful, and she sees that with being without a man is unfortunate. And again, that shows that deep irony that she shows no sympathy for her aunt. She should show sympathy for her, right? Because she's in that same fate.
Yeah, let's take one more example, just one more hotspot. Let's say the hotspot was quiveringly silent on the subject. What can we say about that with respect to our global issue, the passage, authorial choice, and effect?
Okay, this is this bitter old woman that characterizes her because she's quiveringly silent on the subject. Okay, that would be like the characterization and the use of choice of words of quiveringly silent. I think that's interesting diction. What the author's implying is how vehement baby Kochama is about the situation, but she remains quiet. She's like an unspoken judgment of society. The fact that she's silent and doesn't pass judgment verbally shows that sort of that stigma that's attached to the woman.
Sentence step. This links to the global issue in that it further shows the stigma of Amu as a divorced woman, and we sense the hatred coming from her aunt. That's the link. That's how you bring it together.
Yeah, that's right. So again, just to reiterate, it's so important to choose the right extract that links to the global issue. But we're not done. We have to go through and highlight what are the key phrases and moments in that extract that I can highlight. But then we're not done because we have to pin those phrases to literary features. We have to talk about authorial choices.
And then we're not done because we have to talk about how those authorial choices shape meaning with respect to the global issue.
It's the backbone.
All right, folks.
Okay, one more thing to add. So we only have 2.5 minutes. What happens if we don't get to all the things on our chart, Andrew? Is that awful?
Mr. Giles, that is okay. You move on. You're looking at the clock. That's where you stick it in your back pocket, and your teacher will come back to that during the Q&A. That's your teacher's job to help you out. So, no, you're not going to get to share everything you want to share in 2.5 minutes. Put it in the back pocket. Come get it later. All right, folks. In the end, we hope this helps you in terms of choosing extracts for the individual oral. We hope this helps you annotate, highlight, pin to features, and analyze. Stay with the channel, keep on watching, and we will do our best to help you achieve success in your IB studies. Thanks for watching.
Good luck, guys.